Dolphins fans, welcome in to Dolphins Today. I am Will Scott. We are live here on YouTube. We'll bring on producer Jack Lauderay here in a second. I see Chad Jones in the chat. I see David Richard in the chat. Can you turn up my ear a little bit? Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. There we go. Matthew Sams is there. I see you in the chat. Chad Jones is here. Who? Chad Jones is in the chat. We appreciate you tuning in, Chad. Chad, I know you're watching from Monetta, Virginia. William Burke, where are you at? Andrew Cordero, where are you at? Shout out your city down in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching today's show. HBK, good to see you, my friend. Winland Witt is back. One of our most loyal subscribers, always tuned in during our weekday live show. Appreciate you, Winland. Alvin Spence, what's up? Alligator Pancake Face is in Miami. William Burke is in Nashville. David Richards is in Jacksonville, North Carolina. We got Rick in Lockney, Texas. Sherry May, as always, watching from Florida's Space Coast. Fantastic. I remember, Sherry, I was on Amelia Island watching the space shuttle take off from the beach. That was awesome. Mark Rodriguez, Anaheim, Southern California. We appreciate you tuning in from the West Coast, Mark. We have Tony V in Broward County. Fantastic. NFL Productions is in Miami. Sports Fan 122 is in Miami. Alvin Spence is in Christmas, Florida. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the NFL Draft. We're so excited here at Chat Sports. That was a pretty good transition, was it not? Christmas, Florida, most wonderful time of the year.
That was pretty good.
It was all
I'll give you that one. That was pretty good. Yeah.
How excited are you for the NFL Draft? Scale it 1 to 10 down in the comments section. All right, Steven, I see you're in Colorado Springs. You got to go over to Manitou Springs, and you got to go to Colorado Custard Company and tell the owner of Colorado Custard Company, Mr. Carpenter, that you know Will Scott, and I promise you're going to get a good reaction. I was their best customer for the summer of, 2017, I want to say. We have NFL Production saying 9 out of 10. Who else is excited about the NFL Draft? Tony P, 10. Alligator Pancake Face, 7. It's interesting to get Dolphins fans' perspective on, kind of what they're feeling heading into draft week next week, because the Dolphins don't have a first-round pick. And a lot of people have come up to me in the Chat Sports office and have said, man, I kind of feel for you, Will. You don't have a first-round pick. It's better than last year. We didn't have a first or a second-round pick last year. So I'm more excited about this draft than I was last year's draft. Here is our Super Chat menu. $1 for a shout out. Every Super Chat, we shout you out. What do we say? Producer Jack Lauderay? Super Chat Live Mo. Get on the show. Super Chat Live Mo. Get on the show. $5 for the Dolphins fight song. $10. We got the wheel back. I saw Sherry May asking about the wheel. $500 total. We're going to go live for the NFL Draft. And the reason that's on the Super Chat menu today is because my bosses came to me yesterday and they're like, Will, we don't have a whole lot of studio space that's going to be available. The Dolphins only have 4 draft picks. We're not sure if you can go live during the NFL Draft. But I said, wait. What if we get $500 in Super Chats on Dolphins Live this week? Can we go live during the NFL Draft? And you know what they told me, producer Jack Lauderay? Yes. But we have got to get to $500 total to go live for the NFL Draft. If we can get there by the end of today's live stream, I can promise you, guarantee you, we will go live for the draft next week. Speaking of the draft, who do you want the Dolphins to draft? Let me know in our live chat. Chad Jones, I know you're all in on Steve Avila. When we did our fan-led mock draft last week, as you probably remember, Jack Lauderay, you got him. You took Steve Avila with that $100 Super Chat. Who do you want the Dolphins to draft? David Richards, I know you want the Dolphins to trade for Dalvin Cook. Hey, Sherry May wants the wheel. Sherry May wants the wheel. There we go, $10 We're rocking and rolling here on Dolphins Today, thanks to Sherry May. All right, we ready to spin this wheel, Producer Jack? Spin the wheel. What do we got? What do we got? Oh my God! On the first spin, we gotta go get the Dolphins suit. What are the odds? What are the odds? How is that possible? That is insane. The first spin. We get the Producer Jack's going to get the suit. Producer Jack's going to get the suit. That is insane. That's absurd. We got to watch this thing.
What are the odds?
That is crazy. What can we wash this thing? It says hand wash cold. Cool iron if needed. We can't even push this thing in a washing machine. All right, here we go, Sherry May. This is for you. This is for you, Sherry May. That is just crazy. That is just crazy. I mean, that was, I think, the lowest odds spin, and we hit it on the first try. All right. Dolphin suit is back. And I will put this thing on again. I can promise you, if we get to $500, I want to go live next week, y'all. I want to go live. See, the wheel never disappoints. The wheel never disappoints. There we go. Hey, bring me the stool. Bring me the stool. Because I gotta shake that fin. 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 Sherry May, you might be right. I might just have to Febreze this thing. That might be our only option here. How are we going to wash this thing, Jack? We can't bring it to, can we get it dry cleaned? Can you imagine me walking into my dry cleaner? His name is Mario. Can you imagine me walking in to Mario's like this? I mean, I just walk in like this. Hey, Mario, can you dry clean this? Shout out Comet Cleaners in Dallas. If you live in Dallas, go give my man Mario some business. David Richards, $10 super chat. He wants the wheel. Oh, wait a minute. Is this what I think it is? Wait, give us a second. David Richards, that's a milestone. We're loading. It's David Richards' first super chat! Shout out, David! David, I know you've been watching the show for a long time, but he just sent in his first super chat. David, we appreciate you. $10 super chat from David Richards. Thanks so much, David. Shake that fin. Shake that fin. Shake that fin. Shake that fin. Hey, keep it on. Keep it on the wheel. People like the suit. Here we go. Well, you know, we just checked the tag. We can't put it in a washing machine. It says to hand wash. Can you imagine, Brett, me walking into dry cleaners with this? What do you think they'd say? I got the orange suit when I was at Syracuse dry cleaned, and they definitely got some laughs. Oh, karaoke. All right, Jack, what are we thinking here? What are we thinking here? What are we thinking here? Oh! $200 super chat from who? From who? From who? Chad Jones. Who? Chad Jones. Super chat's as smooth as Tennessee whiskey, as sweet as strawberry wine. He's a legend here on Dolphins Today. He's super chatting all the time. Go get me a beer. Go get me a beer. Go get me a beer. And go get go get a shot glass. Go get something. I think we're going to get to 500. I think we're going to get to 500. Fireball's good. Unbelievable. Everybody type Chad Jones. Everybody type Chad Jones down in the comments. Shout out to Chad. Shout out to Chad Jones. Chad, I think I told you this, but I was at a bar out in Fort Worth the other night, and they were playing Tennessee Whiskey. And I'm like, every time I hear that song, I think of my guy Chad Jones. Every single time. Chris Stapleton, shout out to him. He performed at the Super Bowl.
Chad Jones.
Shake that fin. 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 Chad Jones says, tell your boss Dolphins Today is going live. This is for you, Chad. I can't do the whole show in the suit? That's true. That's true. All right, Chad, this is for you. It's not Tennessee whiskey, but it'll do. Oh, that's right. Oh, I have a great karaoke song. I was watching this TikTok the other day, and the walking down the aisle TikToks and the groom's reaction, and he's crying and the crowd's going nuts. I like those TikToks. And the bride was walking down to this song that I'm about to do karaoke of. Can you try to guess the song?
Everyone make sure you like the video.
This is for Chad Jones.
Like the video, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone make sure you like the video.
Chad, we love you, man. We love you. Okay, you ready for this? One step closer. I have died every day waiting for a Dolphin Super Bowl. Darling, don't be afraid. I have waited for 1,000 years. Really since 74. Time stands still, beauty in all she is. I'll be brave. I will not let anything take away what's standing in front of me. Every breath, every hour has come to this. Da, 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 da. Like the video if you love the Fins. That karaoke was brought to you by David Richards' first ever Super Chat. It does feel like 1,000 years, though, since the Dolphins won the Super Bowl. I mean, I do very much want the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl. Can you imagine, Producer Jack, if the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, the party we have on this show?
I don't think there will be a more electric party on YouTube the entire year.
It'd be absolutely crazy. Mark, I see your comment. We're getting into that right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after you liked the video, make sure you leave us a question. Hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat. We're going to be doing 2 mailbags today, Will.
2 mailbags, not one, but 2 mailbags that we are going to be getting into on today's show. So use hashtag Dolphins. Steve, I don't know about that. Steve said my singing is worse than Eichenberg's blocking. I'm not sure about that. Liam's PFF grades say otherwise. David Richards, we love you, man. We appreciate you watching. Optic Gaming just took the lead. Boom! Explain to the Dolphins Day viewers what you're talking about.
If any of you know about a little video game called Call of Duty, there is a professional Call of Duty. There's a professional Call of Duty tournament going on right now, which my team,
Optic
Texas.
Oh, is this the Optic sign? Go Optic! Optic!
They're playing right now.
Is this it? It's like the Oregon Ducks. Oh,
They're playing right now. So let's go Optic. They're also the Texas team. Let's ride.
Alvin, I don't think you're going to be waiting that much longer, my friend. I don't think you're going to be waiting that much longer for a Dolphins Super Bowl. I think they're going to win it this year. If I had to pick a team right now, you're talking Super Bowl. All right, here we go. We're getting into some Dolphins news and rumors. Let me catch my breath for a second. So, I was watching the Chris Grier press conference yesterday. There were some interesting things to come out of that press conference. We're going to talk about it right now on Dolphins Today. Dolphins fans, welcome into Dolphins Today. I am Will Scott, going over the latest Miami Dolphins news and rumors. But before we get into today's show, help us reach 41,250 subscribers. Need a little over 200 more, and I'm hearing from the bosses that we got to get there before the NFL draft next week. So hit that subscribe button below. Help us reach our next milestone here at Chat Sports. Again, subscribe to the channel for daily Dolphins content. Now let's get into some news and notes from yesterday's press conference. So Chris Grier spoke to the media. Tua Tagovailoa spoke to the media, as well as Xavien Howard. We're going to break down some of the more interesting nuggets to come out of those press conferences. And we begin with Chris Grier talking about wide receiver Ced Wilson. He was asked about the trade rumors because we've obviously heard a lot about the possibility of Cedrick Wilson getting traded, especially after the signing of new wide receiver Chosen Anderson. Here is what Chris Grier said about that. Cedrick signed here to be the number 2 wide receiver at the time, and then we made the trade for Tyreek Hill. But how he handled himself, he's an incredible professional, like volunteering to return kicks for us at the end of the year. We're not shopping him, but teams have called. And especially when we just added Chosen, we've had a couple teams reach out. He's a really good guy, and I'm just trying to do right by him because of how he's handled himself on and off the field. 2 things that stood out from that quote. Number 1, we're not shopping him, but teams have called. So the Dolphins are not calling teams asking if they're interested for Ced Wilson, saying that he's available for a trade, but teams are calling the Dolphins to check in on Cedrick Wilson. And then Chris Grier said that he wants to do right by Ced Wilson. And right now he's kind of buried on this wide receiver depth chart. He did not get that involved last season. So to me, it sounds like a trade could certainly happen. Maybe Chris Grier hinting at a possible Ced Wilson trade. And it would not shock me because, again, he was not that involved this past season in Miami. 12 receptions, 136 yards. And, you know, that comes after a really good season in Dallas in 2021. 45 receptions, 602 yards, 6 touchdowns. But it does not surprise me that Ced Wilson has maybe gotten some interest here from other teams because the Dolphins have a lot of talent at wide receiver. They don't necessarily need Ced on the team right now. They have Tyreek Hill. They have Jalen Waddle. Not to mention, you signed Chosen Anderson. You signed Braxton Berrios. You bring back River Craycraft. And then you have Eric Ezukama, Braylon Sanders, and Freddie Swain. And they're only going to be able to keep 6 or 7 of those guys. Will Ced Wilson be traded? Type Y for yes or type in for no down in the comment section. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So when ad break comes, go down, chime in. What do you think? Will Ced Wilson be traded? Now let's get into what Chris Grier had to say about Austin Jackson. And Jackson was supposed to be the starting right tackle this past season, but he got hurt in game 1. He comes back in December, gets hurt again, only 84 snaps, and I think we're all kind of thinking and hoping that the Dolphins are going to sign a right tackle in free agency. It has not happened yet, and I don't think it's going to happen because Chris Grier said at his press conference yesterday that the expectation is Austin Jackson is going to be the starting right tackle on this team. And I am not shocked that is the direction the team is going, but I'm a little bit disappointed by it because you have, I think, in my opinion at least, two holes right now in this offensive line, left guard and right tackle. Eichenberg has struggled in that left guard spot. Austin Jackson has struggled in pretty much every spot he's been in, unfortunately. Taking a look at the PFF grades. Now, the 2022 season is a limited sample size because he only played in 84 snaps in that season. So it's hard to kind of judge him on last season. You know, he was making a lot of strides in the offseason, to his credit. And then he looked decent in the preseason. But again, he just did not play that much because of the injuries last year. And he's just kind of unproven. Again, looking at these PFF grades, we have a 57.9 grade last year. Again, very limited sample size, so take that grade with a grain of salt. 2021, he was the starting left guard. That did not go well. One of the worst rated guards in the league, I should say, 49.9. And then in 2020, when he was the starting left tackle, a 52.5 grade. Look, if the team believes in Austin Jackson, great. I hope that works out. But at the very least, bring in some competition for him in camp because right now, he's the guy. There's really nobody behind him that could challenge him for that right tackle spot. And Grier said yesterday that Robert Hunt is not going to be getting reps at right tackle. He's going to be the starting right guard, and that's how it should be because Hunt is one of the better right guards in the league. You should keep him there. Don't move Hunt. I don't disagree with Chris Grier there, but I do disagree with just handing Austin Jackson the starting right tackle job right now when he's not proven. When he has been on the field, he struggled. Not to mention, you have Tua Tagovailoa's health is a major concern heading into this year. You got to keep Tua Tagovailoa healthy. You can do that by solidifying the offensive line. Maybe they'll surprise us and draft a right tackle next week. And if they do, that right tackle is going to be putting on this Dolphins draft hat. But you can be putting it on right now if you go and order it at chatsports.com/Dolphins draft. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. But go and take advantage of it. If you order it right now, it'll probably get to your house by draft day. You want to be repping the Fins on draft day. That cap is a pretty fresh one as well. So chatsports.com/Dolphins draft. Go and rep the Fins. That link is in the comments in the description. Number 3 thing that Chris Grier said that kind of stood out to me was about the NFL draft next week. Could the Dolphins trade up? I don't think so because Miami only has 4 draft picks. But Chris Grier was asked that question yesterday. Here is what he said. We've had a couple teams in the bottom half of the first round reach out, saying they would be interested in coming down, possibly if their guys aren't there, and if we'd be interested in moving up. So for us, again, any opportunities we can to get a player, we'll look at it. So no serious conversations, but we've had those, and we'll keep those options open. So as I mentioned, the Dolphins only have 4 picks. Now, Chris Grier said, he's keeping those options open. If the right opportunity comes to move up to get the right guy, then maybe the Dolphins would consider moving up. But there's only one guy in this entire draft that I am willing to move up for, and that is Georgia tight end Darnell Washington. This guy is an absolute stud. Had a great year at Georgia this past year. Was second-team All-SEC, started 14 games for Georgia, a national championship team. And you look at the combine results from the NFL Combine. This guy absolutely tore up the NFL Combine. I mean, it was absolutely wild. 4.64 40, 31-inch vertical jump, 91 athleticism score, second amongst all tight ends. So not to mention, this guy is a really good run blocker. He can be the blocker that Mike Gesicki was not, and then he can also be dynamic in terms of a pass catcher. Darnell Washington is my dream draft target for the Dolphins. I don't think he is going to fall to 51, but if they have to go up and get him, that's the one guy I'm willing to maybe move some picks around for to go up and get Darnell Washington in this draft. Do you want to trade up for Darnell Washington? Type T for trade or type P for pass down in the comments section. Let me know. Do you want to trade up for Darnell Washington? Let's talk about Tua Tagovailoa now. He made some headlines yesterday with his press conference. He was asked if he considered retirement after those scary concussions this past season. And he said yes, he did consider retirement. He talked to his family and coaches and friends about it. And here's what he said yesterday at this press conference. Yeah, I think I considered it for a time, having sat down with my family and my wife, kind of having those conversations. It would be hard for me to walk away from this game with how old I am. With my son, I always dreamed of playing as long as I could to the point where my son knew what he's watching. So Tua Tagovailoa, as we all know, definitely has his health going forward as a priority. He's trying to get healthy. He's taking the necessary steps to learn how to fall, taking the jiu-jitsu classes, and, hopefully those help, and hopefully he's well protected next year. Hopefully the offensive line steps up. But, I think we're all kind of scared for Tua. After those concussions, you're talking about a 24-year-old guy that has a newborn baby, trying to start a family, and we want him to stay healthy, right? There's life beyond football. There's more to life than football for these players. So, hopefully Tua can stay healthy. Hopefully the concussions are in the past. But it is, kind of interesting to hear him say that he did consider retirement after the end of his season. Let's talk about Xavien Howard now. Xavien Howard, kind of had a disappointing year this past year, but I think that he is healthy, and I think he's going to have a good year. Here's what he said. Oh, sorry. I think that X, when you look at some of the problems he had last year, he wasn't 100%, but I also wonder, could he benefit from having a better defensive coordinator like Vic Fangio, if that's going to help him? Here's what he said yesterday. Just seeing people saying I'm washed, I'm getting older and stuff like that. Just a little bit of motivation. People are going to say this and say that. I've been proving the critics wrong my whole life, so it's nothing new. And I think X is in for a big year. I really do. I think he's more than capable of playing a lot better than he did last year because we've seen X play a lot better. I don't think this guy's washed, and I think pairing him alongside Jalen Ramsey is going to be awesome. I think Vic Fangio is going to do big things for Xavien Howard. Him getting back to 100% is going to be huge. He was not 100% really at all last season. So I think X is in for a big year this next season. Show some love to Xavien Howard, one of the best Dolphins corners ever. Type X down in the comment section. Type X, man. Alvin Spence. Miami Dolphins content. Winlin Witt. Todd Melanson. NFL production. Coop Sports. Tommy Martin. Frank. Mauricio. Steve James. Todd Melanson. Jordan Swartz. Todd, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. I think X is going to have a big year. I really do. Snazzy saying X. David Richards as well. Again, here is our Super Chat menu. Super Chat like Mo, get on the show. Every Super Chat gets you a shout out. $5 for the Dolphins. Fight song, $10 for a wheel spin. We've done a couple wheel spins today. And then $500 total. We are going to be live for the NFL Draft. Again, I was told by the bosses that there's not a whole lot of studio space available. The Dolphins are kind of on the back burner because we have 4 picks. So in order to guarantee that we go live for the NFL Draft, we got to get to $500 in Super Chats today. That is the number that they told me, and right now we're almost halfway there. We're at $219 in Super Chats. Chad Jones just sent in a big one. We appreciate Chad. Todd Melanson, it's all good. We appreciate you so much, Todd. Good to see you back. Got a mailbag coming up, Todd. If you want to get your questions in, use hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat to get on the show. What's that? Don't have a lot of questions right now. Need more questions to come in. Hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat to get on the show. Super Chat like Mo, get on the show. I'm always so hype when Mo pulls up so I can sing that song. I agree, Jordan. Going to be the best corner duo in the league. Rantavius saying X. Joe Brownlee saying Willie Fins. David Richards, $10 Super Chat. Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. They take the vine. No, I'm doing it anyway. From goal to goal like no one's ever seen. They're in the air. They're on the ground. They're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking super. Because we're the Miami Dolphins. To go JK's Miami Dolphins #1. Hey, because we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins #1. JK's $100 Super Chat saying, I'm back. Guess who's back? Back again. J Case is back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Back again. J Case is back. Tell a friend. J Case, welcome to the 100 Club. I mean, we might just have that be your song. But 100 Club gets you on our Hall of Fame board. We'll show you that next week if we go live. And you're going to have your own song next time you Super Chat on a future live show. We appreciate J Case. Rumor has it, both Dalvin and his agent want to be in Miami. What is the likelihood of us landing him? J Case, that's going to be the first question on our mailbag. Producer Jack Lauderay, make sure J Case has our first question. We appreciate J Case. Cheers to you, my friend. Good to see you again. And then we have a milestone here. Alvin Spence, $10 Super Chat, his first Super Chat. Shout out to Alvin Spence. First Super Chat for our guy, Alvin. Alvin will spin the wheel for you here in a second. Own Aron Ultron. Let's get these donations going, Willie Finn. Celebrating 420 with Dolphins today. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. You got a couple wheel spins here. We'll do 3 wheel spins. Ready for this? Spin the wheel. I think the people want to go live. Jalen walked up to the line of scrimmage and he said to Tua Tagovailoa, "Hey, bump, 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 want to score?" And Tua said, "Yeah, I'd like to score, Dave." So he threw me the ball and I ran all the way. Bump, bump, bump. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle, waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle. Till the very next play. Bump, 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 bada, bump. Shout out to all of you for super chatting. Add shot and beer chug to the super chat thing. Oh, John. I think John wants us to go live. That's 3 more spins. 3 more spins. Here we go. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, man. All right. I think it's your turn for the karaoke. Yeah, okay, at least give me a song to do karaoke to. Hold on a second here. Jordan, here's what we're going to do. Jordan Schwartz and Miami Dolphins content, it is their birthday tomorrow. So for the karaoke, we're going to sing them happy birthday. So Miami Dolphins content and Jordan Schwartz, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Jordan Schwartz and Miami Dolphins content. Happy birthday to you. And when you say Miami. Very nice. $10 super chat from John. Gerbing, his first super chat. Shout out to you, John. We appreciate you watching the show, man, and super chatting for the first time. Here we go. This is for you, John. What do we got? I want to chug this beer for my guy, John. Wait for it. Oh, Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. They take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. They're in the air, they're on the ground, they're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl, because we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins #1. Hey, because we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins #1. I love this hat too, Todd. We need more questions, guys. I'm being told.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are exactly 7 days away from the NFL draft. Ask your NFL draft questions for old Willy Fins. Let's get some questions in the chat.
Ask me about whatever you want to ask me about. Hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat to get your questions in. Okay. Okay, here we go. Again, Super Chatting guarantees your spot on the show. My guy, Jay Case, is going to be the first question on this mailbag for Super Chatting. Dolphins fans, welcome in to another edition of the Dolphins Today Mailbag. I am Will Scott, answering your questions during our Thursday live show. And we go live every single Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to join us for future live shows, and probably going to be live for the NFL Draft, so stay tuned for that. And we really appreciate you sharing today's video because it helps spread word about our channel. So I'll retweet your tweet if you do this. Click the share button, select the Twitter icon, click post to Twitter, and then at me on Twitter at WillScott44, and I will retweet your tweet. Really appreciate you getting the word out about our channel to your Dolphins family members or friends that might be following you on Twitter. JK, shout out to you, man. $100 super chat. Good to see you again. Rumor has it both Dalvin and his agent want to be in Miami. What is the likelihood of us landing him? JK, mark my words here. Dalvin Cook is going to be a Dolphin. He's a Dolphin. This is going to happen. I think it's inevitable, quite frankly, that Dalvin Cook is going to come to the Miami Dolphins. The question is when. And the question is it going to happen after he gets cut, or is it going to happen maybe in a trade? And right now, at least, it's looking more likely that he's going to get cut, and then the Dolphins will get him after he gets cut. You bring up the agent. So the agent had this really interesting interview last week. He kind of criticized the Vikings, saying Dalvin's been playing for a mediocre team, and then he was asked about the Dolphins' interest. He didn't deny it. So you might be onto something when you bring up the agent wants to be in Miami. And you got to know Dalvin wants to be in Miami. He's from Miami. He went to Central High School. You got to know Dalvin wants to come home. J. Case, I firmly believe Dalvin Cook is a Dolphin. Carter Reimer, should Miami trade up in the draft to get Bijan Robinson so the Bills won't get him? Carter, I got some good and bad news for you. Should I start with the bad news, Producer Jack? The bad news is Bijan is not a Dolphin. The good news is, and I can guarantee you this, he's also not a Bill. I don't see him falling that far in this draft. In fact, I think the Eagles take him at number 10 overall. But the chances of him falling to Buffalo are incredibly slim. Be sure to subscribe for more Miami Dolphins news and rumors. We bring you year-round coverage. We go live every week, even in the off season. So you want to stay informed, be in the loop about the fence. Hit that subscribe button below. Chad Jones. Who? Chad Jones. What's up, Chad? Since Chris Grier is sticking with Austin Jackson, shouldn't we go after Dalvin Cook to help our running back dynamic? I think we should go after Dalvin Cook anyway, even if Austin Jackson's not the guy at right tackle. But I was a little bit surprised, Chad, that we had the 27th ranked rushing offense, and we opt to bring back all 4 of our free agent running backs. Wasn't thrilled about that decision. But their contract situations kind of make it manageable to maybe move on from 1 or 2 of them and then bring someone else in. But again, I do believe Dalvin Cook's going to be a Dolphin. NFL Productions, I love that profile pic, man. Jalen Ramsey is a Dolphin, confirmed. Do you think Miami will draft Darnell Washington? Man, I hope so. I don't think he's going to be on the board at 51. Before the Combine, I did, but he was the star of the Combine. He might be a first-round pick now, so I think the Dolphins would have to trade up to get him. But as I've said, he is the only guy I'm willing to trade up for, quite frankly. Captain Dan, what's up? Speaking of trading up, trading down. Better chance of us trading down or I think you mean trading up. I would say better chance of trading down because the Dolphins only have 4 picks, right? So I don't really see them trying to trade up, and then they only have 2 or 3 picks. So I think trading down, adding a pick or 2, like we did in our fan-led mock draft last week, probably more realistic. Now, should the Dolphins trade up or should they trade down? Type U for up or type D for down in the comment section. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So an ad break comes, take advantage of it by commenting as the ad plays. Do you want to trade up or do you want to trade down? Next question rolling in from Tommy Martin. What's up, Tommy? Anyone you think the Fins would trade up for even though they don't have much to give? Obviously Darnell Washington. But if you had to, if you're making me say somebody else, because I've said Darnell before, I would say DeJuan Jones, the Ohio State right tackle. I really like him, and he could be your starting right tackle. Matthew Frost, do you think we should target offensive line or tight end first? For me, Matthew, this is based on who's available. If Darnell somehow falls to 51, you better take Darnell Washington. But let's say it's between Steve Avila and Sam Laporta in the second round. I'm probably taking Avila, the offensive lineman, and then wait until the third round. Maybe take Tucker Kraft or Brenton Strange in the third round. Address tight end then. It depends who's on the board. Steve James, at pick 51, if Cody Mock, Steve Avila, and DeJuan Jones are all available, who do you pick? That is a great question. I'm going to say Cody Mock. I am. And here's why. Because Cody Mock is versatile. He could be your starting guard or he could be your starting right tackle. Really like Cody Mock. I don't think he's going to be available at pick 51. I do believe Avila is. DeJuan Jones, maybe, maybe not. I've seen mocks that have him going number 50 to Tampa Bay. I'd be crushed if that happened and we didn't have a chance to get him. But I would draft Cody Mock. I think he's the best prospect out of those 3, the North Dakota State offensive lineman. Miami Dolphins content. Does Skyler beat out Mike White for QB2? No. I do not think that's going to happen. And I like Skyler. I think Skyler should 100% be on this team. If the Dolphins don't carry 3 quarterbacks, given to his injury history, that's not smart. But Mike White, a little bit more proven. He was paid QB2 money. So I think it'll be Mike White as QB2. David Richards, what's up, man? We appreciate the question. Why is it so hard to get an offensive line that can protect Tua? It's frustrating. Give Grier credit last year for going out and getting Armstead and going out and getting Connor Williams. But this year, there's been nothing done. There's been absolutely nothing done. You have only signed one offensive lineman that was not previously on the team, and that's Dan Feeney. He's probably going to be a backup guard or a backup center. So you have not taken this offensive line seriously, and I think it's more of Chris Grier saying, if I give up on AJ, then I admit I failed on that draft pick. You're not gonna hit every single draft pick, right? Move on from Austin Jackson. Move on from Liam Eichenberg. Protect Tua, because if Tua gets hurt again, David, this team is not going anywhere. The franchise, what's up? What up, Willy? What's up, the franchise? Thoughts on DeJuan Jones at 51? Yeah, a couple of y'all have asked about DeJuan Jones. I really like this guy, the Ohio State right tackle. Think he would be a huge upgrade over Austin Jackson at right tackle. I think he's pro-ready right now. I think he's NFL-ready right now. Taking a look at what he did at Ohio State, I mean, this guy's a stud. No sacks allowed. No hits allowed. It's nuts. 5 hurries, a run grade of 85.0, so good pass blocker, good run blocker. DeJuan Jones is the total package. Do you want to draft DeJuan Jones, the right tackle from Ohio State? Y for yes or N for no down in the comment section. Go down, let me know what should the Dolphins do if DeJuan Jones is on the board. Tommy Martin, what late round defensive tackle would be good to draft? Late round defensive tackle. Jaquelin Roy, I think, is going to be a mid-round pick. If I don't see him falling to the 6th, I think he'll be there when the Dolphins are picking in the 3rd round. I think we mentioned Jacob Slade for Michigan State as well as potential target. 6th, 7th round, he's probably more realistic to be there than Roy, the LSU defensive tackle. So, yeah, I'd go with Slade, the Michigan State defensive tackle. David Richards, why is it so hard to get an offensive line that can't protect Tua? Yeah, as I said earlier, David, it's very frustrating. And, hopefully the Dolphins will kind of shift course and not do what they've done in free agency and actually take offensive linemen in this draft. If they do not draft one offensive lineman, may I remind you, they didn't draft one offensive lineman last year. I'd be pretty upset. Shiesty Miami 305. Do you think Robert Jones can take Liam's spot before the start of the season? Yeah, he should. I mean, he was much better than Liam Eichenberg. Was he great? And I don't know if I'd say great. He was serviceable in that spot. He was better than Liam Eichenberg. So, yeah, I think it's possible. What's up? We have Ty TT5RG. Can we still get Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry? Dalvin, absolutely. I think Dalvin will be a Dolphin. I'm going to stand by that take. Derrick Henry, I don't think Derrick Henry is going to get traded. If it happens, it might happen after the draft, but I don't think it'll be to the Dolphins. Todd Melanson. Will, where do we find a tight end replacement? It's got to be 2nd or 3rd round, Todd. It can't come 6th or 7th round. You have a 2nd round pick. You have a 3rd round pick. You do not have a 4th or a 5th. You have got to address tight end in the 2nd or 3rd round. If Darnell is there, if Laporta's there at 51, I'd probably lean toward taking them. But if you have a really good offensive lineman like Avila or Jones available, then maybe wait till the 3rd round, take a guy like Tucker Kraft. Escazer1, what's up? $10 super chat. We appreciate it. If the Dolphins don't take an offensive lineman this year, what lineman should we target 2024 draft? I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have not looked into the 2024 draft prospect list a whole lot. We've been focused on the 23 draft. But I'll give you a name here. Let's see. I'll give you a name here. Joe Alt. Oh, yeah. I like this guy. Joe Alt, offensive tackle from Notre Dame. I like him. I expect the Dolphins to have a late pick. Not sure if they're going to be high enough in the draft to get him. J.C. Latham. He's versatile, both a guard and a tackle from Alabama, and we all know the Dolphins love those Alabama guys. So, yeah, I'll go with those 2 guys for now. Obviously, this time next year, we'll be breaking down some more names. Oh, how about this? Javian Cohen, the guard from the U. How about you bring him in? Cohen might be a more realistic option, the first 2 guys I named. So there you have it, S. Kaiser. We appreciate the $10 super chat. Guys, do you think the Dolphins should trade up or trade down? Let me know down in the comment section. Trade up or trade down? I would say trade down. Add some picks. I mean, if y'all were watching our fan-led mock draft last week, we traded down 8 spots. We added a 4th-round pick. We still got our guy, Wanya Morris. So, Carter Reimer says up. Cameron Reed says down. NFL Production says down. Chad Jones says down. Todd Melanson says up. Interesting, Todd. Interesting. So Todd might be okay with just having 2 or 3 draft picks this year if it means getting, honestly, if it means getting Darnell Washington, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Can you tell producer Jack that I want Darnell Washington? Jordan Swartz saying down. Alvin Spence saying up. Is that Kai saying down? All right, $10 super chat from S. Geyser 1. You know what that means. It's time for the wheel spin. This is for S. Geyser. What is it going to be? What is it going to be? A karaoke again. This is the 3rd karaoke of the day. All right. What should I do here? What should I do here? All right. Drop the song request. Todd, exactly. I feel bad for y'all. Drop the song request, Oh, Angry Dolphins fan with a $20 super chat. $20 super chat, Angry Dolphins fan, first time super chatter. We're only $100 away from reaching our mark here so we can go live for the NFL draft. All right, Sherry May says, lean on me. Ready? Chad Jones. Who? Chad Jones with a $10 super chat. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to sing the wild song. Jalen walked up to the line of scrimmage and he said to Tua Tagovailoa, hey, bump, bump, bump. Want to score? And Tua said, yeah, I'd like to score, Dace. So he threw me the ball and I ran all the way. Bump, bump, bump. Benny waddled away. Waddle, waddle. Vinny waddled away. Waddle, waddle, waddle. Vinny waddled away. Waddle, waddle. Till the very next play. Bop, 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 bop. Guys, we are less than $100 away from $500 in super chats, which means we can go live for the NFL draft because the Dolphins have the fewest picks of any team in the league. So my bosses were like, Will, they came to me yesterday, like, Will, I don't think you can go live during the draft. You were there. And they said because we don't have a whole lot of studio space, and if y'all don't believe that, I did a video from the couch during free agency. So that tells you something. We get super busy during the draft free agency, so they're like, Will, not sure if we have enough studio space for you to go live next week, but if you get $500 total on Dolphins Live, we'll let you go live. We're less than $100 away. We're about halfway through the show, so we still have some time. Chad Jones says, keep giving. Got to get to 500. Sherry May helping us get there. Sherry May. $5 super chat from Sherry May. We appreciate you, Sherry. Thanks so much for super chatting. We are 85 away. 85 away. I'm confident we're going to get there. I'm confident. All right, we got speaking of the draft, we got a draft meetings tracker coming up right now. That's coming up after the draft meetings tracker, though, right? Oh, okay, sorry. But start getting your questions in for the next mailbag by using hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat. Super Chatting guarantees that you get on the show. But we got a draft meetings tracker coming up right now. We're going to tell you every single draft prospect that the Dolphins have met with here before the 2023 NFL Draft. Dolphins fans, you're watching Dolphins Today. I am your host, Will Scott. We got the NFL Draft less than a week away. So on today's show, we're going to break down $100 super chat from who? From who? From who?
Chad Jones.
Chad Jones. Super chats as smooth as Tennessee whiskey, as sweet as strawberry wine. He's a legend here on Dolphins Today. He's super chatting all the time. Chad Jones says, eat that, boss man. We're going live next week for the NFL Draft. We are going live for the NFL Draft. We will see you there. We're going live. Woo! Fire me up. Fire me up. S. Gazer. I think Cody Mock will be there at 51. Cody, Beer Chug. He wants to see Beer Chug here. All right, spin the wheel. I'll take a shot for Chad here in a second, too. Oh, he almost got it. Wait. What does Miami have? The Dolphins, the greatest football team. They take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. They're in the air, they're on the ground, they're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl, because we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number one. Hey, because we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins number one. We're going live for the draft. I'm so excited. I'm taking a shot for Chad. He got us over the finish line. Who? This is for you, Chad. We love you, Chad. Who? Who? Chad Jones.
Chad Jones.
That's become an iconic thing here at Chat Sports. Who? Chad Jones. We appreciate you, Chad. We're going live for the draft, guys, so be sure to tune in. I know Chad Jones is going to be there. Sherry May, I can tell you're very excited. I'm assuming you're going to be there. Let's ride. All righty. Got the draft meetings tracker coming up right now. What's up? For real this time. We appreciate you. Dolphins fans, you're watching Dolphins Today. I am your host, Will Scott. And on today's show, we're going to be getting into a draft meetings tracker. We got the NFL draft less than a week away. We're going to tell you every single prospect that the Miami Dolphins have met with. And we are going live for the 2023 NFL draft. We're going to be live during day 2 when the Dolphins are making their first picks. So be sure to subscribe for Dolphins draft content. We're going to have you covered on draft day, also the days leading up to the draft. So hit the subscribe button below. As we begin with a running back, Kendre Miller, the TCU product. He has met with the Miami Dolphins, and he was a superstar on that Horned Frog team that went to the national championship game. Now, he suffered a knee injury in the semifinal game against Michigan, but his recovery's going well. He's been a little bit cautious, hasn't done a whole lot in terms of workouts and whatnot leading up to the draft, but he is going to be healthy by the season, and I really like Kendre Miller as a prospect. Now, the Dolphins have been linked to Dalvin Cook, but if they don't sign Dalvin Cook or don't trade for Dalvin Cook, then maybe they will draft a running back next week and might do so early in the second or the third round. The Dolphins also could maybe look to add some depth on the defensive line. Desmond Alexandre, the Pittsburgh product. He has met with the Dolphins, had 5.5 sacks, 29 tackles at Pittsburgh this past season. Garrett Nelson out of Nebraska. The Dolphins did meet with him. Also 5.5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss for the Cornhuskers last season. Really like this next guy, DeMarvion Overshown, the linebacker out of Texas. So he actually met with the Dolphins at the Combine and then had a private workout with them after the Combine. 96 tackles, 10 tackles for loss at Texas this past year, 4 sacks, 5 pass breakups. This could be a third-round target here, so you could address the bigger need like offensive line or tight into the second round and then add to that linebacker room in the third round. But Overshown, if you want him, probably have to take him in the third round. You do not have a fourth-round pick. Another running back the Dolphins met with was Deneric Prince, the running back from Tulsa. Really like Prince here as a prospect, 729 yards, 5 touchdowns, might be a day 3 guy. And when you take a look at the Dolphins' running back room, they did re-sign all 4 of their running backs. So maybe they don't feel like running back is a huge need and aren't going to draft a running back. Or maybe if they do draft a running back, we'll do so later in the draft. Maybe that's where they will add Prince. Will the Dolphins draft a running back? Type Y for yes or type Inferno down in the comment section. They have 4 picks. Are they going to use one of those picks on a running back? Let me know down in the comment section. I think they are definitely going to use one of those picks on a tight end, and they did meet with Sam Laporta, who was fantastic in his last 2 seasons at Iowa. And keep in mind, this was with no passing game, no offense. Iowa was known for not having a good offense this past season. He still tallied over 100 receptions, over 1,300 yards the last 2 seasons in 26 games with 4 touchdowns. Really like Laporta, and I think there's a strong chance that he's the pick for the Dolphins at number 51 overall. Now, I am assuming if you're watching this video, you probably care about the NFL draft. Well, show that you care by subscribing to our brand new NFL draft channel, youtube.com/chatnfl. Got a lot more draft content over there. It's exclusively an NFL draft channel, only draft content. Go and check it out. That sublink is in the comments and the description of today's video. Titus Leo, the defensive lineman out of Wagner, met with the Dolphins. Wagner College up in New York. And believe it or not, actually watched this guy play in college. He played Syracuse. I was at that game in 2021. Don't know a whole lot about him. I think he might be flying under the radar here because he's an FCS product, but he did have 52 tackles this past season for Wagner. Tucker Kraft. The Dolphins met with my guy. I want this guy in Miami, man. I really like him. The tight end out of South Dakota State, and he's flying under the radar a little bit because he's an FCS product. Taking a look at the Dolphins' tight end room, only 3 tight ends right now. I think it's extremely likely that the Dolphins are either going to draft a tight end in the 2nd round or in the 3rd round. And a couple of y'all have asked me, should we take a tight end in the 2nd or 3rd? It really depends on who's available in the 2nd round. If you have Darnell Washington or Sam Laporta on the board there and you're not crazy about some of the offensive linemen there, then take a tight end in the 2nd round. Maybe go running back or offensive line 3rd round. It really, for me, just depends who's on the board. But you are going to have some decent tight end prospects available at pick 54. Tucker Kraft might be one of those guys, and I do believe Brenton Strange might be on the board as well. Speaking of tight ends, Darnell Washington, the tight end out of Georgia. Again, this is the only guy I'm willing to trade up for. Destroyed the NFL Combine. Had a really good season for Georgia in 2022 on that national championship team. 454 yards, 2 touchdowns for Darnell Washington this past season at Georgia. Favorite tight end prospect this year? Let me know down in the comment section. Is it Darnell Washington? Is it Tucker Kraft? Is it Sam Laporta? For me, it's Darnell, but those are probably my top 3 more realistic options, Darnell, Tucker, and Sam Laporta. As for a defensive back option, Keydron Smith, the defensive back from the University of Kentucky, 46 tackles and 2 interceptions for the Wildcats this past season. The Dolphins don't need to draft a defensive back, but maybe Smith could be there in day 3. Luke Musgrave, the Dolphins did meet with the Oregon State tight end, who, it's interesting because I've seen mock drafts that have him going around 1. I've also seen mock drafts that have him going late 2nd. So I don't know where Musgrave is going to end up. I don't think he's a super realistic option for the Dolphins, but he's very intriguing all of a sudden if he falls to 51 overall to Miami. Carl Brooks, the defensive tackle out of Bowling Green. Miami did meet with him. 50 tackles. Get these numbers. 50 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 10 sacks this past season at Bowling Green. Has some versatility. Can play the inside. Can play the outside. Probably going to be an interior defensive lineman in the NFL. And right now, the Dolphins do not have a backup interior defensive lineman behind Raekwon Davis. They have to add some more depth there, and I expect them to do that in the draft. Maybe they'll take Brooks. Staying with the defensive line, Shaquille Brown, the edge rusher out of Troy. He had 4 sacks for Troy this past season, and he did meet with the Dolphins, as well as Xavien Howard, the running back from Arizona State. Over 1,900 yards, 16 touchdowns, as producer Jack Lauderay is doing the forks up sign, the Arizona State grad producer we have here at Chat Sports. Led the Pac-12 with 12 rushing touchdowns this past season. Really good running back, and would have a tremendous amount of value if he fell to the Dolphins in the 6th round. Who do you want the Dolphins to draft? Let me know down in the comments section. You can say a name that's maybe not realistic, like Darnell Washington, because who knows, maybe the Dolphins will look to trade up. But again, if you're talking about tight ends, I think Sam Laporta and Tucker Kraft might be more realistic options for Miami. But let me know who you want the Dolphins to draft down in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going live for the NFL Draft. Hope to see you there. We'll post more info about our coverage next week, but we are going live for the 2023 NFL Draft here on Dolphins Today. Who do you want the Dolphins to draft? Let me know down in the comments section. How's Optic doing? Let's go, Optic. Daniel D. Daniel D., have we ever disagreed on anything? I don't think Daniel D. and I would be best friends if we met in real life. We never disagree on anything. He says Darnell Washington. Daniel, that is my dream draft target. I need Darnell Washington. I need him bad. I need him bad. I need him more than I need air to breathe. I need Darnell Washington in Miami. You know, it's funny when they were talking about yesterday when they're talking about, I'll go live on Dolphins. I might have to shift back to main coverage for a little before I came back on Dolphins. And I said, if we draft Darnell Washington, I don't think I'm going back on Maine. I don't think I'm going back on Maine. Oh, we're breaking records here on Dolphins Today. Todd Melanson says, oh, God, Will, you might die on draft day. I mean, I might die if we don't get him. I might die if we get him. So we'll see what happens. I'll say this. Todd, my biggest fear, Todd. My biggest fear, Todd, is if he starts to fall and fall and fall and fall, and he's pick 45 and pick 46, pick 47, and somebody gets him right before the Dolphins pick, I am going to be in absolute freaking shambles if that happens. I will be crushed. I'll be devastated. I'll be insanely upset. Here's our Super Chat menu! Super Chat like Mo, get on the show. $1 for shout out. We've already broken the 500 thanks to Chad Jones and some others. We appreciate everyone's help getting us there. $10 for the wheel spin, $5 for the fight song. Chad, we're not doing Thursday because the Dolphins don't have a first-round pick. However, I'm going to be live on our main channel on Thursday. So if you want to see me over there, check us out. Me and producer Jack Lauderay both going to be doing that. Jack, turn your mic on. Tell the folks what to look forward to on Thursday night during our main coverage.
So for the people that don't know, this will be my third draft with Chat Sports. It is chaos, it is mayhem, but it is fun, and it is the best draft analysis you're going to get. Let me tell you, I'm going to give you a personal story right now. Okay. And a personal recommendation. Okay, so my dad, he loves the ESPNs. He loves the Colin Cowherds. He loves them.
Right.
He loves those guys. He loves to watch the draft. He watched our draft coverage last year because my mom was like, Jack's producer, you need to watch the draft coverage. He watched our draft coverage and he said, I'm never going to watch any of those other people again because your guys' draft coverage is so good.
It is.
I'm not even joking. He literally has told that to me multiple times. He said, I'm going to watch your draft coverage and just your draft coverage because it is better than any of the other stations.
You know what's annoying is, like, especially when you get into the later rounds, ESPN, NFL Network, they're going to be in commercial break when your favorite team is on the clock. We do not go into commercial breaks here, right?
There's no commercial breaks. There's no annoying interviews like on day 3 when they're talking to some random coach. No, I kid you not, this may sound like I'm overpromising, but I'm not. We cover every single pick all 3 days. You're going to know every pick that your favorite team does, we're going to cover it. It's great.
Right. I'm really excited about it. I know Jack is as well. Chad Jones, I know you'll be there, but be sure to join us for our main coverage on Thursday night, and it'll be live on Dolphins for day 2. Use hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat to get your questions in on the show. One more mailbag to get to. Hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat to get your questions in on the show. How are we looking on questions? Okay. I got you. All righty.
Todd, it is not a 4-day draft. It goes Thursday through Saturday. Sunday, though, make sure you're watching because we're going to cover all the undrafted free agents.
And I'll say
signings.
this. You say, oh, well, undrafted free agents, well, none of them are going to make the team. Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller was an undrafted free agent. And I said in the video that I thought Kendre Miller was a steal. Okay, excellent. Excellent. So, what could be a win for that? All right. All right. Oh, guess who it is? Guess who it is? Guess who's here? Guess who's here? Super Chat Limo, get on the show. 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 Mo, we're going to answer that on our mailbag. I love it when you super chat. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Cool. Cool. All right, let's do it. Dolphins fans, you're watching Dolphins Today. I am your host, Will Scott. And before we get into our Dolphins mailbag, I wanted to hit on something that was going viral on Dolphins Twitter this week. At an event in Miami, Tom Brady was asked if he'd come out of retirement and play for the Dolphins. Here was the full quote here at this Miami event. Now that I'm not affiliated with any team anymore, I have strong ties with a couple teams. I do have some friends on the Dolphins that I really like. I wouldn't necessarily say I root for them all the time, but I root for my friends to do well. And some people were freaking out about this quote because Tom Brady just didn't say, no, he's not coming out of retirement. He didn't say, no, I'm not going to play for the Dolphins. But this is a non-story. Tom Brady was just trying to give kind of a classy answer, and I think either way, if he was interested, if he wasn't interested, he wouldn't say, right? He just said, well, I have friends on the Dolphins. I hope my friends on the Dolphins do well. That's all he said. This is a non-story. Tom Brady's not coming to the Dolphins, and even if you believe that Tua Tagovailoa is not the guy, and that's certainly not me, if you watch the show, TD Finstock, I know some Dolphins YouTubers like him, maybe or not as high on Tua as I am. I believe in Tua. But even if you believe that Tua is not the guy, Tom Brady is not an option. He is retired, and he has said that this time he's retiring for good. He's not coming out of retirement. The only way that Tom Brady plays for the Dolphins is if Tua gets hurt next season and Brady is there chilling on his, in his Miami house or whatever, then maybe the Dolphins give him a call. But the chances of that happening are just astronomically low. Now let's get into our Dolphins mailbag. Use hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat to get your questions in on the show. Super Chat like Mo to get on the show. We appreciate Mo Super Chatting. Are you as infuriated as me that we have yet to sign a decent lineman and what Grier said about Austin Jackson? Well, Mo, I encourage you to watch my show from Wednesday to find out the answer to that question. Yes, I'm very frustrated as well. Look, if Chris Grier believes Austin Jackson's the guy, so be it. But at the very least, bring in some competition. It's April 20th, and he is committing to Austin Jackson as the starting right tackle right now. There are still guys out there in free agency. The draft hasn't happened yet. Why are you just handing the job to Austin Jackson right now? I really don't understand that at all. Jay Case, what's up, man? Another $5 super chat. We appreciate you. Dolphins, hashtag Dolphins. What's the likelihood of us trading up for our boy Darnell Washington? Jay Case, I knew I liked you, man. You're on the Darnell Washington hype train. Pretty slim because the Dolphins only have 4 picks, but Chris Grier was asked yesterday at his press conference if they would trade up. He said some teams have called him about maybe trading back if the Dolphins were interested in trading up. He didn't rule it out. We'll see. But if the Dolphins have to move up, let's say 5 or 6 spots, give up a 3rd-round pick next year, I don't know, to get a Darnell, man, that'd be very intriguing. I know the lack of draft capital makes that a little bit tricky. But if Darnell Washington, if you have a shot to get him, I would do it. Hanky Fins, what's up? Could the Dolphins be a Trey Lance trade destination? No. I saw them in some articles, a dark horse for Trey Lance. Whenever somebody on the 49ers becomes available via trade, they're going to be linked to the Dolphins because of Mike McDaniel, right? But Trey Lance is not coming to the Dolphins. Now, if he was to be the backup, sure, but there's going to be teams interested in Trey Lance trading for him to be the starter. So he's not coming to Miami. The Dolphins have a starting quarterback. But I will ask this. Do you want to trade for Trey Lance? Type T for trade or type P for pass down in the comments section. Let me know down in the comments. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So when ad break comes, go down, let me know. Do you want to trade for 49ers quarterback Trey Lance, who apparently could be on the move? Sherry May saying hashtag mock to Miami, as in Cody Mock, the North Dakota State offensive lineman. And I was asked on our last mailbag, if Cody Mock and Avila and DeJuan Jones are there, who are you taking? I'm taking Cody Mock. I really like Cody Mock. He's versatile. He can play guard. He can play tackle. I think he's more of a guard at the NFL level. But I'm a big fan of his, and I would love him in Miami. Tommy Martin, what top 30 visit would you most like the Fins to draft? Darnell Washington. I think he took an official top 30. Check out our visits list if you haven't already. Some were top 30s. Some were private workouts. But, man, Darnell Washington, if I had to say someone else on that list that really interests me, Sam Laporta, and then DeMarvion Overshown, the linebacker from Texas. Anthony Manzano, thanks for the question. The more realistic of the tight ends in the first round that might fall out of the first is Michael Mayer, Washington, Musgrave, and Kincaid. Let's see. Michael Mayer's definitely going to go first round. I think Kincaid's going to go first round. The other two, probably early seconds, I would say. Darnell might be a late first, but in terms of who has the better chance to follow the Dolphins, I actually think it's Luke Musgrave. I don't think Darnell's falling. Steve James, what's the latest on a Christian Wilkins extension? I'm hearing that it might not happen. The guy's an absolute stud and deserves his money. $17 million a season is fair in my opinion. Yeah, it'll be between like $15 to $18 million per year probably. Grier was asked about that yesterday. He said he's talked to his agent. They've had those conversations, but that's just the same thing we've heard now for weeks. So, look, we might wake up tomorrow and an extension's going to be done. I'm not sure. But I hope it's sooner rather than later because I'm with you, Steve. You got to pay the man. You cannot let this guy walk in free agency next year. We always have you covered with Dolphins news and rumors, so be sure to subscribe for year-round Dolphins coverage. We bring you coverage in the offseason and during the season as well, obviously. Matthew Frost, next question. We appreciate it. If we could get Dalvin Cook, that would be so huge. What if we traded up for DeJuan Jones and Darnell Washington? Our team would be set for the next 7 years. I don't know about next 7 years, but our team would be set for this year. Because you have a right tackle, you have a tight end, you have a running back. Those are probably the three biggest team needs right now. I mean, we can't trade up for both. We can probably trade up for one. And I would trade up for Darnell. I really would. Darnell's a freak, man. He'd be awesome. Carter Reimer, trade up in front of the Bills to take Bijan Robinson. I think I was asked about this earlier. Bijan's not falling to the Bills. That's just not going to happen. I think he's going number 10 overall to Philly, but I would not trade up into the first round to get a running back. I just wouldn't do it. Carter Jones, should we draft a running back if a Cook trade doesn't happen in the next week? That's kind of why the Dolphins should be kind of rushing to get something done with Cook. Now, obviously, if they don't want to trade for him, they have to wait for him to be cut, and that's not on their timeline. But if Cook is not an option, then yeah, I think the Dolphins should draft a running back. But hopefully a Cook deal can get done in the next week. Then you can shift your focus to some other needs on this team in the draft. Who is your favorite running back draft prospect? Go down in the comments section. Let me know. Is it Sean Tucker? Is it Devin Achane? Who's your favorite running back draft prospect? Johan, what's up, man? We appreciate you. Should we draft a center instead of a guard so we bring Connor Williams back to his natural position? It's certainly a possibility. John Michael Schmitz is a prospect to watch out for. I think they met with him at his pro day. They didn't bring him in for a meeting, though, but I think they met with him at his pro day. John Michael Schmitz, if they draft him, he'll be the starting center. Williams goes back to guard. Anthony Manzano. If Michael Mayer falls out of the first round, which is the more likely prospect at tight end? Possibly fall out of the first round. What would you give up? Michael Mayer's not falling out of the first round. I can just about promise you that. He might fall like 25. He's not falling out of the first round. If you're asking if he does fall out of the first round, would I trade up for him? No. I think I'd rather trade up for Darnell, quite frankly. Winland Witt, offensive tackle Jack Witt in the 7th round. Linebacker Jack Campbell in the 2nd round, tight end Sam Laporta in the 3rd round, and in the 6th round, an edge or running back. I'd be happy if all that happened. Laporta's probably not going to fall to pick 84, though. I would be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he's off the board by 51, so him falling to 84 is probably unrealistic. But Campbell would be a solid pickup. I don't know if I take a linebacker, though, with your first pick. Tommy Martin, we keep talking about right tackle. How do you feel about the backups we have for left tackle? Not great. Not great, Tommy. I'd love to bring back Brandon Shell, have him be the backup swing tackle. He's still out there and available in free agency. I'd love to bring him back because right now I don't feel good about the backups. You have no depth on the offensive line. No depth. Todd Melanson. The most hilarious thing I saw today was a rumor that Saquon Barkley could come to Miami. Dreams. Forget about it, is some Giants fans would say in that New York accent. Yeah, Saquon's not coming to Miami. Dalvin, maybe so. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Got the draft coming up in less than a week. We are going live for the NFL draft, so be sure to join us for our live draft coverage. What do y'all think? Trade for Trey Lance? Probably not. Probably not. T for trade, P for pass. Optic took the dub. You love to see it. Todd Melanson saying pass. Chad Jones saying pass. Anthony Manzano. Yeah, I'd be okay with that, Anthony. If Tucker Kraft's a Dolphin, I'm going to be very happy. But I think he's more of a third-round guy. Everybody's saying pass, as they should be. Mauricio saying pass, Daniel D, Chris, S. Gazer, Cool Rich, Bill Lyon, all saying pass. And I would tend to agree. Chad Jones, did you get the jersey we sent you? Let me know. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Dolphins draft content coming your way here in the next week. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Chad, I will ask about that for you. I will ask. Thanks for letting me know. All right. Shout out producer Jack Lauderay making it happen behind the scenes. We're going to head out here on Dolphins Today. Thanks to everyone who super chatted, help us get to our number at 500 so we can go live next week. Stay tuned for information on that. We're probably going to go live around, I don't know, pick 40 or so. About 10 picks before the Dolphins, so stay tuned for that. But thanks to everyone for watching. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend.